Welcome back, champions from across the many Pokemon worlds. I'm so glad that you could join me again today, because in my last video, I shared my speculations on the Teal Mask portion of the Hidden Treasures of Area 0 DLC. Today, I'm going to be going over the Indigo Disk portion of that. If you haven't already watched that previous video, please do me a huge favor by checking the description below this video for the link, and going to watch that video before we continue any further here today. Don't worry, we'll wait for you, considering we're going to have to complete the story elements of the entire core game of Scarlet and Violet, as well as completing the Teal Mask story elements. Afterwards, information tells us that we'll be getting an invitation to attend a sister school to Narana or Uva Academy, depending on our versions, as exchange students. The interesting thing about the Blueberry Academy is its curriculum is said to be very battle-focused. Now, I'm hoping that Nemona gets to join us as well as Arven and Penny, because Nemona would definitely be disappointed if we get to attend the battle facility of this generation without her. Plus, Arven is actually becoming quite the battle challenge, and it's always fun to see Penny's EVs in battle. The experiences that we're going to have alongside the local students of this academy, as well as hopefully bringing our other friends along, is going to be just a small surface of what we're going to see in this mysterious underwater academy, just based on the inspirations. To start off, we have to get into the story of Oramashitaru. It is a Japanese folktale in which a young fisherman rescues a small turtle from a group of very cruel children that are tormenting it on the beach. Afterwards, the fisherman returns the turtle to the ocean, and the very next day, he encounters a large Minogame, which is a turtle-like yokai with a long flowing tail of algae that is said to have lived for many of years to achieve this. The Minogame explains that the small turtle that the fisherman rescued was in fact the princess of the Sea Dragon Emperor Raijin, and this mighty emperor wishes to thank the fisherman personally for this daring rescue. The Minogame, after explaining, then offers its back to the fisherman so that he can climb aboard and be taken to the great underwater palace of Raijin. Very interesting, in the first episode of Pokemon Horizons, we see that the main character's pendant transforms into a small turtle Pokemon that protects her in a very desperate moment. Now, the small turtle Pokemon looks like it could be a pre-evolution of Terrapagos, but there's a lot of theories and rumors that suggest it could be a lot more complicated. One of my personal favorites is, where I heard it from is Lumiose Post, a pal of mine, is that we see the Terra Gem form inside of our Terra Orbs, and that might actually be this small turtle Pokemon, much like it was the pendant for the main character in Pokemon Horizons. The fact that this small turtle Pokemon could be the power behind terrestrialization in Paldea, and look like a gem, being the treasure of Area 0, would be very fitting in terms of the Momotaro and Uramashitaru inspirations, and could be what Ogerpon stole from the village of Paldea and took to Kitakami. This would be the treasure that we have to recover, as well as the small turtle that we have to rescue from this possibly corrupt gang of Pokemon. This fits many of the theories that I've already laid out, as well as several of the theories in the community, and I'm hoping that a lot of these elements are true because we're seeing it reflected in the inspirational stories. In fact, we're not even going to be taking the small turtle that we rescue from this gang of Pokemon back to Paldea. In fact, I think we're going to be taking it to the very oceanic Blueberry Academy. Now, could the Blueberry Academy be the underwater palace of Raijin, at least in terms of parallel story elements? I actually think that we're going to see something a little bit different. Possibly an underwater paradise similar to Area 0, possibly much more developed and has its own atmosphere and different weather patterns in this small area. Very much like something we see in the continuation of the Oramashitaru story. As Oramashitaru looked out from the underwater palace, in each direction he saw this vast underwater paradise, where each section was under a different season. To the east, south, north, and west, he saw spring, summer, fall, winter, and it was very interesting, but it also made him very homesick. He requested to be returned back to his village, and before he was allowed to leave, the princess offered him as a gift a strange box. She claimed that the box, as long as he did not open it, would protect him and keep him safe until he was able to return to her. With that being said, he returned back to his village and found that it was very, very different, as things have passed along in time. He asked around, offering his name, and some of the older villagers recalled it and said yes, Oromashi Taru is a man who was lost at sea about 300 years ago. Distraught and tormented, Oromashi Taru wandered about until he collapsed, and then he remembered the strange box that the princess gave him. Completely out of his mind in his misery, he opened up the box, and there he found 300 years of his life flash by his eyes. Now, I know for a fact that we're not going to age into dust in the Pokemon series, nor do I think we're going to age at all. I don't even think we're going to be time traveling at all. What we might see along this is something that has vanished about 200 or 300 years ago, and that we're going to find in almost an unchanged state. According to the rumors, there's a lot of hints at an Atlantis inspiration that would hint at a lost civilization, and this is even supported by Iron Bundle's Pokédex entry, stating that there was an advanced but also ancient civilization that constructed it for its purposes. Now, maybe this ancient lost civilization is going to be found somewhere in an underwater paradise that we're going to see deep beneath the Blueberry Academy, and this might even be where we're going to see Heath show up, as data miners have told us that there is battle information on this, whether you believe them or not. I still think it'd be very awesome to see Heath again, especially unchanged from how we saw him depicted in the journals of the Scarlet and Violet book. Furthermore, I think that the Terra Orb, not just containing the small baby turtle Terrapagos, might actually have something to do with it becoming the more familiar Terrapagos that we got revealed. And in fact, this might have something to do with why they're not telling us its name. That small baby turtle could actually be Terrapagos, and opening the Terra Orb would age it the 300 years, which would be parallel to the Mino game Yokai, where it was said to have gained its long flowing tails of algae from living almost 300 to 1,000 years. Furthermore though, the sketch that we see of the Pokemon that Heath encountered deep in Area Zero looked a lot larger and more fierce than the Terrapagos that we're seeing. Maybe in the Teal Mask we're going to see another stage to terrestrialization that is really going to reveal how this Terrapagos, wise and elderly turtle, becomes this fierce guardian that Heath encountered deep in Area Zero. There are many more mysteries to explore in the Hidden Treasures of Area Zero DLC, and I'm really excited to explore all of them with you. If you have any thoughts on this, please leave them in the comments below. Give me a like, subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. And if you have any other ideas that you'd like me to cover, make sure to share those as well. Remember, until the next time, you have the spirit. One last thing, champions, before you go. If you've been admiring the shirt design that I have on in today's video, make sure you do me a huge favor and check out Professor Corey's merchandise shop. He's a huge pal of mine on this content creator journey, and he has some really cool designs at very fair prices, including the shipping as well. Now, his most recent design is the Unlimited Potential, and it features his own creation of Eevee-Lu. If you're curious what Eevee-Lu is and how it's connected to both Eevee and the Burned Towers of Johto, make sure to do me an additional favor by sliding over and checking out his latest video. Leave a like and subscribe on his channel, because he's an incredibly talented content creator. And remember, supporting the content creator community is how we keep the spirit free. Until next time, champions.